Oh, hello and welcome. We're going to be getting started shortly here with the legendary, much delayed qualifier number 4 for the South Sea Mercenary League Season 2. Yeah, kicking off shortly here. Just waiting on Romulan Dog to get in and for the bracket to kind of stabilize on the other side. So just to take a look at what we've got going on here. Let's get this going. So we're going to be having Romulan Dog versus the green one in the first bracket, and in the second bracket, there are still both games being decided. So that should be a good time over there. Yeah, just as a reminder for those who aren't aware, the qualifiers, there have been 4. Now this is the 4th, and those 4 qualifiers, the winners of those, they will move on to a grand final to be hosted at a later date. I'll probably have them play the games offline and then, just cast the replays in a live stream for the sake of everyone's time. But yes, welcome. Here. Like a live stream during dinner, yes. We are not going to be getting started right away because Romulan Dog, I think, is AFK at the moment. He had a bye on the first round. I say first round, yeah. We had a relatively small tournament today. Decided to host it at a different time zone, and I know a lot of people are kind of not super active in the game right now just because they're waiting for Game 3. Understandable. I am definitely very hyped for Game 3. It's looking like it's going to be very good. More on that soon, but yeah. Let me go ahead and throw on some music here as we're just hanging out. Waiting for a Romulan Dog to arrive, waiting for these other two to finish their brackets. I figured I would just start streaming, come hang out with you guys. Here. Throw a little Med 2 music, legendary. Looks like Romulan Dog is on his way, so should be around shortly. Yeah, it took them long enough. I don't know if they were trying to get some other stuff done and then just didn't have the resources to do so before the release of Game 3. But at the very least, the Cavalry Beta has been released to the wild, and yes, a lot easier to get games on it now if you're just looking to jump into Quick Battle or, for like hosting a tournament. I don't have to worry about making people download a beta. I'd hope that we get a little bit of a bigger turnout because of that, but unfortunately, it appears not. But there you go. Is what it is, right? It's all good. I still get to hang out with you guys and cast some quality game. Forward to that. And more coming soon. I've got some really exciting stuff coming down the pipe for you guys. So, planning on doing a DLC. I had written a script, or at least I got most of an outline done. I got an outline done. I got most of the script done, I think, for a DLC guide for multiplayer. I do want to get that done in the lead up to the holiday season, just as kind of a buyer's guide, if you will, now that all the DLCs are out for Warhammer 1 and 2, as we move into the release of Game 3. I think that'll be a pretty useful video for a lot of people to look at. So that's probably going to be coming up within the next little while. I'm probably going to hold off on too much more in-depth like mechanics and stats, just because I know most of the really basic stuff is not changing, but some things are changing, so I want to wait until Game 3 kind of shakes out once we know the stats there. But yes. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you've seen some new kind of different compositions on ladder. I'm definitely the cavalry beta not only does help cavalry, also helps monstrous infantry. It helps even certain other unit types when it comes to infantry interactions. So pretty awesome. It's in Fury because Torok's best. I mean, Silence and Fury actually does add a lot. I would say Silence and Fury is probably the best DLC for Lizardmen, honestly. And yeah, for the Beastmen, it's also very good. Of course, Beastmen, you have to get the base. You don't have to, but you will probably for Game 3, for them to be fully usable, you'll have to get both DLCs. It's definitely worth it to get both of them. Basically, like a lot of the DLCs, it's like if you want to play this faction, you should get the DLC for multiplayer. It gives you more options. Some are more necessary than others. Like Lizardmen, again, for the most part, like Silence and Fury is really good for them, but Nikai's DLC you could arguably skip. Like, there's really no unit in that, right now at least, in that pack that's the meta, right? Whereas for the vampire counts, for example, you have to have the Grim in the Grave. Like, you need Mortis Engines. You don't need Helm and Gorse, but you need Mortis Engines and Corpse Carts, in my opinion at least. Like the Sternsmen, some of the RORs are super important. Same thing for the Greenskins. Like, they have so many good cheap RORs that it's 100% worth it, I would say, to pick up their DLCs. Skarsnik's okay, but yeah, Sisters of Avalon are pretty good. I would say Lariel's probably the highlight of that DLC, even still, after all this time. She's just such a strong healer, and for the High Elves, that's obviously very good, so yeah, that one I would say is a pickup. For the Dark Elf side, though, I'm thinking, like, Helibron's okay, right? None of the units... What else is in there? Doomfire Warlocks are in that one, right? And they're kind of, again, kind of meh right now. Sisters of Slaughter are decent. They're nice to have, but that one's like a... You know, if you have the change for it, I guess, and you want to play Dark Elves, it's much more worth it for the High Elves side, I would say. Yeah, Grom the Paunch versus Eltharion. Again, that one is like Silver and Guard are pretty good. Rangers are nice to have. Eltharion's a bit of a meme, to be honest, but looks like Romulan Dog has arrived, so we're gonna let them get started with their picks and bans and so forth. So let's switch on over to the live and go get it. Go. Go ahead and check this over here. Just as a kind of a general talking through my thoughts of DLC, as we guys see right now, a little preview for the video. Let's see this. Let's get a little intense. Whoops. Big think. Big other DLC. And obviously, like the faction DLCs, Coast, I guess, really at this point, just Coast and Doom Kings both are pretty good. They're like, you know, kind of all in one. So if you want to play that faction, you buy the DLC. If you don't, then you don't. Alright, easy, right? Bretonnia is an interesting one because you just get all of Bretonnia for free with the purchase of Game 1. And I really hope that in Game 2, that Bretonnia remains kind of the forever free faction. Free LC only faction. I mean, for them to justify giving them a full rework, they might have to do a paid DLC for Bretonnia, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be cool for Bretonnia to be forever free, which is, you know, saying that sentence actually sounds ridiculous when I think about it, but there you go. Wurzag is one of the squishiest lords in the game, and yet also one of the strongest. Like, his abilities are so good. Yeah, I'm excited. I know he's been up and coming. I haven't seen him play too much on my own channel, so I'm excited for this. I believe first picks... Yes. Oh, what's up, Doomsage? Welcome. Yeah, whichever DLC came with Scourge Runners, that would be Malice versus Snitch, which pretty much all the DLCs are good for Skaven, I would say, because Jezzails are awesome, Mortars are awesome, and they're in 2 different DLCs. Snitch is also a really strong lord. Malice is terrible, but Scourge Runners are very good, for sure. I would say that's a worth pickup. Let's see, what am I missing? Rot versus Wood Elves for sure for both of them. Sisters of Twilight are super strong. The variety for Skaven's good too, to get like Wolf Rats and some of the Clan Molder synergy healing stuff. I mean, that one's maybe arguably not insanely necessary for Skaven right now, but it is good, certainly. Especially in certain matchups. Like, you can go full monster mash with Skaven, with like a bunch of Clan Molder monsters. Technically, it is legal to take 2 Bonebreakers and 2 Rat Ogre Abominations. Yeah. It's good. Empire, yes, you need Volkmar, of course. You always need Volkmar. Dwarfs, you know, actually, you could probably skip the Dwarf one. It does have some good units. Bugman's Rangers are probably the highlight of that. Belagar's alright. What else is in there? Really didn't have much now that I think about it. Bolt Throwers, Rangers. Again, nice to have, but not completely necessary. If you want to go all in on the Vanguard, you actually arguably do need Rangers, but... yeah, Skarsnik CLC though. Skulkers are awesome. All the RORs for Greenskins are amazing. Yes, this one's gonna put me to sleep though. I gotta skip. This is like the campaign ambience track. As these guys get their stuff. Beastmen, Ban, Vampire, Counts, and Tomb Kings. Pretty good first pick. Pretty safe first pick. We could see a Wood Elves as a counter pick. Could see a Greenskins as a counter pick. I do like this time frame too, because like I saw who was it, like a week, last week, 2 weeks ago, hosted a Friday night tournament, and I really like this time slot. You know, given that a lot of the communities in Europe, it is a little bit rough. I know I'm missing out on a lot of people, and a lot of these are going to be watching this after the fact. Probably skipping this part, but... Greenhorn goes with Warriors of Chaos. So, that's a good matchup. The Chaos Gods are pleased. Indeed. Let's check this back over here. Yeah, what else? Zotes are awesome in campaign and certain matchups. I really like Blade Singers too, personally, like as a unit. Their animations are a little funny looking, to be honest, but the Blade Singers, like lore-wise and as a like functionality-wise, I think they're awesome. What else we got here? Yeah, I think I covered most of them, honestly. I might have missed one here or there, but I think we got them all. Oh yeah, the Empire DLCs. Marcus, you probably do want. Huntsmen are awesome. Wagons are pretty good too right now. So, both the Empire DLCs. Yeah, Lizardmen side though, the Hunter, probably skip that one. I mean, the Kai's alright. Saurian's a lot of fun. It's really good in a couple matchups. Ancient Salamander's okay. Like, if you have the micro to use it, well, it can be very good, but it's also, like, one of the hardest units to use effectively. Yeah, Ancient Croc scores are terrible. The Engine of the Gods, right? Yeah, Engine of the Gods is okay. Again, it's alright. But I would say Oxyatl CLC is much better. Yeah, I would say my viewership is like... probably if you add all the European countries together, it's probably about equal to the US. And... I mean, player base wise, like I would say patrons I have more in the US. That might just be because of the time zone situation, but go ahead and ready up on my end so these guys can start when they're ready. Yeah, Loix Tricksters are an amazing halberd. The speed of them and the fact their stats are so strong means they are an awesome halberd unit. Especially when you get some stuff like poisons, try and slow it down a little bit, let them catch up. It can catch heavy cavalry relatively easily. These guys can do, though. Looks like we are ready to jump in game one. Nope, not quite. Possibly Eldrin of the Mist. Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the plague mechanics. I bet, like, you look at, like, Skrulk's plague mechanic, right? Which is pretty strong. It's a pretty strong campaign mechanic, but I would imagine Nurgle in the campaign is going to have, like, that kind of, if you can call it flavor. That sounds gross to call it that, but you know what I mean. That sort of thematic element just cranked up to 55. All right, let's take a look at what we've got. Be on Oakenhammer, and just letting these guys load in. Chaos versus Beastmen's a fun one. You know, both players have a lot of options here. Surprisingly, Chaos can contest the mobility game relatively well. But let's see what they got. Oh no, I'm on ultra unit settings. Oops. Forgot I'm on ultra unit settings. That's fine. We'll just we'll let it go for this one. I'll rehost on the next one, and we'll go from there. It's not the end of the world, but yes, Archaon. Man, he is shiny. He is quite a shiny boy, I have to say. Looks pretty clean. I mean, I guess he's serving all the dark powers. He does have to at least keep his armor clean for Slaanesh, right? Anyway. We've got Archaon here, double Manticore. Let's see. We've got a couple of Chaos Halberds and Chariots. Regular Chaos Chariots. I'm a huge fan of this unit. Have been in the past. I haven't tried it too much in the current patch, but I'd imagine it's better than it was before. Definitely one of the cooler looking chariots in the game, in my opinion. Just absolutely brutal. So that's going to be decent anti-infantry. We've also got some hounds. Looks like some horse masters as skirmish contest. So should be pretty interesting on that side. On the other side, I see some chaos spawn. Spawn are generally awesome for both of these factions, honestly. Both of them can bring them in this matchup. Although Ungor Raiders make them a little bit riskier for the Warriors to take into Beastmen. We've got some Spearman herds here, a couple of said Raiders, Torox, Gorbel, and a Bracium Lower Wild. We've got a Psy, Gore, a couple of Poison Warhounds, a couple of Centigores, and a Tuskor Chariot. So Emperor coming in with a 20. Hey, Dob, just wanted to say this real quick. Can't tell you how much I appreciate the content and commitment to multiplayer and casting. Sure you work like us and still make time. Keep up the great work. You know what, Emperor? Thank you so much. I really appreciate your generosity, and I guess your appreciation is appreciated, if that makes sense. Like, honestly, I get a lot out of it. Besides, you know, the obvious monetary rewards, which are not amazing, but it is something. I'd be lying if I said it was nothing. It is, you know, a little chunk of change. Definitely makes me feel nice, and really the interaction with the community, just being able to share something I enjoy. You know, this game is really amazing. Like, it still blows me away. Sometimes I'll just wake up in the middle of the night and be like, man, Warhammer's awesome. It's like you think about as a kid, you know, me and my brother for a long time, you know, we grew up together playing Total War, and we'd, you know, stay up late at night just chatting as kids and as teenagers, like, man, wouldn't it be so cool if they made like a Lord of the Rings Total War? Or, you know, we were aware of the Warhammer universe and the fact that Games Workshop made the Warhammer figurines. Like, we would shop at the same stores they sold the Warhammer stuff, or sorry, the Lord of the Rings. They'd make Lord of the Rings figurines, right? And we were aware of the universe, you know, like, how cool would it be if they did something like that, like a fantasy Total War? And now we have this massive, you know, complex, beloved fantasy IP, fully realized, you know, from the tabletop, these static little miniatures into this full 3D space, right, with the turn-based campaign, the classic Total War formula, turn-based campaign, real-time battles. Just amazing, honestly. Like, yes, the game has issues. But the reason we know about them is because we love it so much, right? Anyway, Cygor starts out by throwing some rocks here all the way downtown. Going to land straight on the Warriors with Halberds. Oh, that doesn't kill too many. Only gets 2 of them on that shot there, but a decent amount of HP damage. So, starting to whittle away on some value. Definitely. Ooh, did he hit Archaon? The Regiment of Renowned Cygor is definitely accurate enough to hit single entities, especially bigger single entities. Like, I've had the Cygor go full anti-air versus, like, Malekith, for example. But let's see. As the Warriors of Chaos try and approach, Green One's actually doing a nice job dodging those shots with a, like, block of heavy infantry, which is actually pretty impressive. But going for a nice wide envelopment here, taking these hounds and these horsemen out in a pretty safe position. You can see Romulan's kind of deployed, not, you know, necessarily corner camping, but he's definitely on the one side here trying to force an engagement over here. Green One being very patient, not wanting to overcommit, just very patiently moving up his army here. Trying to get everything into a position. Tuskor Chariot trying to go bumper cars here with the Chaos Chariots. Might get a little bit of a character fight here as both the Manticores drop in. We've also got Taurox in this fight, but Archaon versus Taurox, I mean, this is a 3v2, which is not going to be great. A really nice standard die. Slayer of Kings also popped. So, up to 870 weapon strength on Archaon. This is going to be a really bad engagement for Taurox here. He's got to pop Brass Body if he's got it active. Gorbel is going to be doing okay against the Exalted Heroes. Looks like an Overcast Devolve there. That is going to hit all these single entities. It'll do a pretty good amount of damage. Not anything too crazy. But using the Chariots to actually go after the Hounds. Pretty smart play. Block them in. Do a little bit of anti-infantry damage. But Archaon, man, doing a pretty good job. Devolve upgraded. I didn't realize it has a melee attack component as well. So actually pretty smart. Tuskor Chariots do get terrified, and the Burning Head starts to rip through these Ungor spears. The rest of the army is just kind of hanging back right now. He's really committing it heavily into this one engagement here. It makes sense. A lot of the value is in this particular engagement, but Gorbel actually does manage to handle a Manticore here while Archaon is just beating down on Taurox. So let's get in close. Watch this critical single entity fight play out. It's still 2v2, and now the Chaos Warriors have the advantage of infantry support. The Warriors with Halberds coming in. Ooh, the brutal Cyborg. Yeah, let's go with that. Cyborg, full death machine, rock throw. Another Devolve in here as well. Oh yeah, that's right. Devolve doesn't do damage. I totally forgot about that. It's been a while, guys. A little bit of lags, no big deal. But, you know, Warriors of Chaos, the one thing I am a little bit worried about is they don't have much staying power at all here. And, yeah, I mean, they might be able to snipe Taurox and get a leadership cheese with Terror, but all of their infantry pretty much is being destroyed. I mean, the one Halberd unit is somewhat healthy. The other Halberd unit is basically nowhere to be seen. I mean, I guess they're also mixed in here, right? So, both have taken substantial damage. The Marauders, we've got one healthy Marauder here. Most of the rest are gone. Horse Masters will be a nice support, though. They can kind of charge in. They have a decent charge bonus. 30 charge bonus for a missile cav is really nice. And Taurox and the Gorbel are both going to kick the can most likely. I mean, Gorbel's definitely done. There's no way he's getting out of this situation. He's surrounded by Halberds. Yep, and he does indeed buy the farm. Thorok's going to come over trying to avenge that, but really he doesn't want to take this engagement. Really wants to try and peel out of this situation, maybe, unify with some of these spear support. Yeah, get the Cygor in there to help fight single entities. Would have been nice to have him in there maybe a little bit earlier, but at this point, yeah, Thorok's brutal hit from Archaon. I actually really do like Archaon as an answer to Torok's. The Cygor is going to come in and body block, and probably do some good damage to Archaon as well, but Torok's taking an attack in the back from the Exalted Hero. That will probably be it. Another Burning Head. Manages to get some leadership damage. The Marauder's doing a good job cleaning up those Ungors. So yeah, the support situation initially looked pretty rough for Chaos, but the leadership damage was enough at the end of the day. Cygor maybe should have been pulled a little bit earlier on to fight in that single entity fight, just because that, like, the infantry, yeah, the two halberds are somewhat dangerous, but wow. Wow, indeed. Yeah, the Chaos Horses are still too small, that's correct, but... I actually started on the first Total War, right? Like, somehow me and my brother managed to convince my mom to buy us Shogun Total War when that came out. Not necessarily when it, immediately came out, but before Medieval 1. So, I mean, I've been with this franchise basically since the beginning, right? But anyway... Archaon here pulling a ton of value. The Manticores also kind of take a beating, but one of them does pay for themselves. Nice support from the Marauders, the Halberds. Again, they do okay. I do like the pick of the Chaos Chariot here, though. Gives you some nice anti-infantry and insurance, and also is a secret counter for Hounds. Horsemasters are amazing. Hounds do okay. Yeah, for Romulan Dog here, Torok's had a little bit of a tough time in that single entity fight. I mean... It's just tricky because, without pulling the Cygor in there, you're really going to be going 3v2 because the Bray Shaman can't really stand and fight with those other high-tier single entities, or higher tier at least. But still, very fun battle. Let's go on to the next one. The map is going to be Toothgrass Hill. So we'll get to that here. GG, well played. Yeah, probably like a month or two ago now, honestly, I had a intro. It might not have been that long ago, actually. I had an intro featuring one of the ninja assassination videos from the original Shogun Total War, which, by the way, those things are true gems. Oh, yeah. Crowfather. You know, that's an accurate point, except the two Manticores. I mean, I guess if you take two Manticores and the Crowfather, then yes, you can protect from the Chaos Manticores, but there was two Exalted Heroes that were in the air there, so Crowfather would definitely have to be running the whole time. Now, you don't see Malagor too much. I mean, I know he's a little bit of a meme, but he is pretty good too still. And definitely going to get a flying toggle in Game 3, which will be awesome. Used to play Team Fortress 2 on a crappy little laptop that would overheat. Oh, man. Sounds like going over to my friend's house and having to play RuneScape on his mom's horrendous laptop because my internet connection actually wasn't good enough. Even though I had a decent home PC at my place, my internet connection was not good enough to play RuneScape, so... yeah. I do miss the generalist armies, you know. The tendency for the AI to form like a million little junk stacks and just run around like chickens with their heads cut off. I don't miss that necessarily, but I do miss, you know, being able to move forces around and just kind of manage things on a much finer detail. That includes settlements as well, you know. Like having a finite number of settlement slots does force you to make choices, but it feels a little bit arbitrary. I don't know. Granted, the economy in the old Total War games was very basic. It was build farms based pretty much. Like there was the trade system, which was there, but I mean, could have a pretty substantial effect in certain cases. But yeah, I mean, it's, basically just form trade agreements with everyone you can, which is most factions, initially. Malgore had Viletide, it would be viable. Probably. I do miss Viletide there. Like, out of any spell, I think that he you could probably take, does he still have Devolve? You could probably take Devolve off and replace it with Viletide, but... Hey, what's up, Manuel? Yeah, retraining was a pain. I do like the automatic replenishment. Yeah. It would be less of a pain if you could retrain your units anywhere, but like I think with mercenaries you could almost never retrain them unless there was literally like a unit available within the pool to retrain. Most units was the same way, like you had to have one available in the pool. Now granted, I did like the recruitment pool that like, you could recruit a certain number of especially higher tier units, like you have to wait for more to become available over time. You can't just instantly, over 5 turns recruit a full stack. I mean, you could, you'd have to recruit them all like in different places and then bring them together, right? It's just a different style. I definitely enjoy it, but I think there's pros and cons to both systems. The current sort of modern system is definitely tighter, I will say. For something like Warhammer, I think it makes sense, but yeah. Farms, roads, churches, temples, walls. Yep. Oh, that's right. I was going to rehost. Oh. Forgot I was supposed to rehost. Let me real quick fix that. Apologies. Just getting busy. Having fun chatting with you guys. Unit size down to large. Okay. Unit cap mode. Yeah, there is actually a mod for Medieval 2 that adds Lord of the Rings, and I think there's one in development still for Attila. Possibly. Okay, let me go ahead and just do this here. Okay, perfect. And it looks like the other bracket did finally crystallize. So we've got Noaface versus Hadriz. Alright. Guess I should probably update the scoreboard live here as well, right? Green 1 took the first game, so we'll go ahead and do that. Excellent. Where'd Romulan Dog go? Okay, let's go ahead and just this. Sorry guys, a little bit of technical issues. Okay, sorry about that. All good now. Oh, not 2. Why did I put 2 on the scoreboard? I'm a genius, guys. I'm really good at this. There we go. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Come on, Romulan. Where'd you go? Must have stepped away for a minute. That's all good. Yes, there is a Game of Thrones mod as well. That is correct. Hey, what's up, Bubba's Big Blast? Hope things are well for you. Yeah, I mean, ogres are definitely going to be a lot of fun. And they talked about a little bit about their campaign mechanics already, and I am pretty excited for the ogre camps. Like, I think that will hopefully be a pretty unique, fun mechanic. Have to see how it actually ends up working in practice, but I think ogres will be the best pre-order race by far. Yeah. They do only come with 2 legendary lords, but like Norska did 2. Also still does only 2, so all DLC sucked back then. I mean, compared to now, that is true. Like, it's hard to compare. Like, that's what I was saying earlier about the Dwarfs DLC. Like, there was literally just Belegar and there was no hero. There's just the rune, Master Rune Smith, whatever his name is. I forget. Yeah. But like, it's hard to compare the modern up-to-date DLCs. Like, you know, Tomb Kings, Vampire Coast all came with 4 legendary lords to start, right? Like, yeah, they've kind of upped the standard for sure on their DLCs over time, which is both good and bad, because it means they're going to have to do a lot more work to live up to their own standard, but it means that we'll get bigger pieces of content when they do come, right? So, Sartosa XCA win. No, for real, though. Hey, what's up, Captain Rum Panda? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Also pray for Norska, man. I'm definitely stoked for Norska update at some point. Like, they have to update Norska. I mean, they've already teased one thing, which is that Norskins can actually build walls. Norskins and ogres, they can only build walls at their top tier of settlement, but Warhammer 2 is your favorite Total War? I agree. It's definitely one that's benefited my life the most. I mean, I've got a lot from playing Total War over the years. It's been one of my favorite franchises of all time, for sure. But, like, this game has changed my life in a pretty major way. Like, if I'm just being completely honest here. Yeah, I fully expected that, no face. They said, from what I understand, they said all the factions coming are going to get more content. Like, they've already laid out the framework for more monogod factions. Yeah, they have already said that they're going to be doing DLCs for basically everything. Like, even all of the Game 1 and Game 2 races currently. And yes, that includes Skaven, does include Lizardmen probably as well, you know. High Elves, Dark Elves at some point. Even the Greenskins, Empire, of course. I mean, Empire is on the combined map, so you gotta expect them at some point. As, like, a... maybe not... yeah, like a main DLC. Like, you know, Midland or something. Yeah. Medieval 2 will always have a special place in my heart. Rome 1, but especially Medieval 2. Like, out of the old historical Total Wars, that's probably my favorite. Rome 2 I also played a ton over time, and that's kind of what got me into the Warhammer Total War YouTube community. I started watching Era of Carthage, because I loved his Rome 2 videos, and yeah, just kind of grew from there. The rest is history, as they say. He is going big for Game 3, pumped AF. Yeah, I fully expect like 5 years plus of DLC content. As long as they'll keep making it, basically, we'll keep buying it, right? I mean, Empire still needs Hawkland long rifles, Celestial Hurricanum, like you mentioned. They need some of their knightly orders. Knights of the White Wolf especially would be awesome as like an AP cavalry. Great weapon cavalry. something that's not as expensive as Demigryph Knights. Maybe make Demigryph Knights better and more expensive. Yeah. And Tim brings up a good point. I am curious to see. I do think a lot of people think they're going to just disband Warriors Undivided, but I don't think they will just discard all of that work. And Archaon also still needs a home. So I think Warriors Undivided will remain in some form. Now, whether like Sigvald, for example, gets split off into Slaanesh remains to be seen. But certainly it does seem like Warriors Undivided will remain. Now, what I hope that means is that Warriors Undivided will get a few of the warrior-type units from various rosters. Like, they'll get maybe, you know, Doom Knights of Tzeentch, or maybe just Knights of Tzeentch. Maybe they'll get the Special Forsaken, right? Maybe they get the Horn dual-weapon warriors, since you lack that, right? You don't have that weapon type. Maybe you get, maybe the Skull Crushers, right? Like some of these different warrior-specific units that are on the Monogod rosters, you could see them added to, I guess, the Warriors of Chaos, which would be pretty cool in my opinion. Definitely overhaul their roster in a way, give you just more options to choose from. Yeah, Warriors of Chaos will be able to occupy settlements in Game 3. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, I could see Sigvald with, like, a combined roster for sure. I hope as well that they do more combined roster stuff, just in general. I really enjoy that, personally. But, alright. Looks like these guys are ready to get started, so let's get into Norska versus Sartosa. Very interesting. I wish I had picked a naval map, one of the island maps for this, because that would be appropriate. These two Sea Raider factions facing off against each other. We'll start with Wulfric the Wanderer for green one. He's got double caster, death and fire, both. He's got 3 chariots, 2 feral manticores. 3 chariots, interesting choice against undead of any kind, given that undead generally have pretty heavy mass, but especially coast. But let's see. A bunch of marauders here. A couple marauder spears. Got some horsemen. 2 feral manticores. And the Miststalkers, Regiment of Renown Fimir. On the flip side, for the pirates, we got Queen Bess, Gunnery White, and an Admiral here. Where's the caster? Did he bring a caster? Surely he brought a caster. Did he not bring a caster? I think Romulan Dog might have forgot to bring a caster. Or maybe he did that on purpose, but there's no caster, I don't think, in this army. That's going to be rough. He's got a Rotting Leviathan here, some pole arms. Yeah, 5 pole arms, Bloated Corpse, 2 handguns. Sartosa and Free Company, a couple of them to cut through marauders, I guess. Deck droppers, bombers, a couple of them. Wow, no caster. That's possibly a big mistake, but Queen Bess is fun. Admiral, oh yeah, duh. I would just like automatically assumed. I read the Admiral. In my mind, I was thinking Aranessa, but I actually read the word Admiral. I just didn't think about what I was actually reading. I just like, in my mind, I was like, yeah, it's Aranessa, but no, it's actually the Admiral. So that makes sense now. My UI is lagging. There we go. We can look at the spells here. Black Perept is awesome. I love this item. Opal Amulet's also great. We've got Dance Macabre and Invocation of Nehex, so... Stop Crabbo Whites from kiting. I guess, yeah, the chariots are fast enough to catch them, right? Testing Norska with cheap infantry doesn't seem great. I mean, they didn't bring any berserkers, though, is the thing. And the chariots will run over the Sartosan Free Company, but I don't totally hate it here. Also, you know, to defend against Chaos Hounds, because they have an anti-infantry bonus, they should trade very well into Chaos Hounds. Not that he brought any, but it is a possibility here for sure. My guess is that was the thinking there, but I don't know for sure. that's that's a nice narrative. Bubba's Big Blast, I like that. uh, yeah, the coast seems to be far away, but these sneaky factions, sneaky naval factions trying to be landlubbers. Bloated Corpse is really where it's at, though. I mean, this is an ogre, pretty much. Where'd he go? Is he hidden? He should be hiding in the woods somewhere, honestly. Oh yeah, he's over there. Crabs are the way. Crabs... It's just tough, because crabs are, you know, the monster hunting aspect of Norska. And I know we've talked about this. We played through this matchup several times, the Emperor and I did. Trying to figure some things out, but let's see how this does. Let's see how it does. For Norska's side, I wouldn't say this is the most typical build. You might see a lot of javelins here often. Even the throwing axes too, just because the throwing axes have such good melee stats, they can kill zombies all day. And, not worry about it too much. Alright. Good. I have to go grab a drink of water after this, but... we've been going for, what, 45 minutes? Man, feels like it's been longer, honestly. Here we go, though. Hulks and Mourngulls are both just super squishy for what they give you. The armor being so low and their defense being so low means they just die super easy. And you don't really have enough passive healing to sustain them, unfortunately, so... And Stalkers are an interesting choice, though. I do like the Stalk. And the fact they have Terror means they won't get Terror routed in the case of, like, a wild, Archon pick. Let's see what they can do, though. Got their big brass mallets out. Yes, indeed. See Romulan very patiently biding his time here. He's got Queen Bess. Not quite in range yet, but it looks like it will be soon. So the giant crab booty getting in the way of Queen Bess here. This is quite the traffic jam. Oh, looks like Queen Bess has got the firing angle, though. Bombs away. Let's see, where does it land? Oop, oop, clean miss. Missed it by a country mile. Yeah, they made sense as cheap terror. I agree. The ROR still has terror, but they also enrage. And they have, what, like tons of extra weapon strength, too, I think. So, yeah, they lack staying power. And staying power is generally an issue for a Vampire Coast, right? So... that's fine. I mean, according to tournament rules, there's still plenty of space to flank here, potentially. Like, he's got all this space over on this side that he could come in and flank, so... yeah, I mean, this is fine. It's, you know, close, but it's fine. A warning shot, yes. Thankfully, the Gunnery White can just refill ammo here, so it's not too rough to just continue firing, but you do have to be careful. Ooh. Yeah, because the Fireball and the Spirit Leech over time will be able to take down Queen Bess. Oh, the crab block! Oh man, he almost got it. Romulan Dog attempting to hero block here with the Rotting Leviathan. Pretty hilarious. Shot did not actually land any hits though, again. And the bombers, unfortunately, the Bat Bombers, looks like they took some javelin hits to the face. Ooh. And even all this time, the green one's still able to dodge some shots. Pretty good micro there. Yeah, losing both the big shots. I guess that's true. The extra powder does make a pretty big difference, but there's a clean hit on the Marauders, and they lose 20 models instantly. and they suffer badly because of it. So that's fine. Seems like a pretty decent start. Another one dropping in here downtown. Ooh, Charlie Brown right on the money. Just destroys the entire side of that unit. But let's see. Oh, the crab a little bit too slow to turn again. And Queen Bess actually gets destroyed there after having only got a few volleys off. I mean, did really just mess up 2 Marauder units. But a huge mistake possible from Norska as Wulfric making his way forward, just getting absolutely lit up by zombie handguns. He does have a missile block stance, but that's only going to help so much up to a certain point, especially when he's surrounded by 2 character crabs. Man, initially Green One had been having some very good micro plays up to this point, but a potentially huge mistake. Nice burning head, though, does roast out some of those zombie handguns. Not enough to save Wulfric, looks like. He's probably going to not come back. I mean, I guess we'll see. He has a tiny bit of HP left, but the Marauder Horsemen getting in here, interrupting those zombies a little bit. A lot of the threats have been dealt with, but these 2 characters are going to be a big problem. The Fleet Admiral now taking some big hits from the Manticores, but the 2 Manticores don't have a lot of staying power. Crab should be able to deal with them relatively well. 150 armor on the Crab, too, means it's going to take less damage from the Manticores. The Miststalkers definitely need to get in here and fight with the Manticores. That armor sundering will help somewhat. It won't help a ton, but it will do something. The other characters as well. Oh, here comes the bloat. Here comes the bloaty boy. Honestly, doesn't have a ton of great targets to go after, but he's here for a grand old time. Nope. Where's it going? Let's go, lad. Trying to find a nice block of something to run into. Yeah, Norska doing okay. The Miststalker's actually holding out decently well, but none of the crabs are really taking any damage here, and the Manticores are definitely getting worn down, so that's pretty rough. Uh-oh, here comes the bloaty boy going into the rear of those spears. Can the Shaman Sorcerer catch him? I don't think so. I think, yeah. Oh, he does catch him. Oh, it just nukes the handgun unit. Oh, man. Nice little get there. I still don't know if it's going to end up mattering, just purely because of the character situation, but maybe it will. If Norska is able to literally cut through everything, maybe the big crabs just die to, you know, overwhelming numbers. The Miststalkers providing armor sundering is nice here. You can see the gunnery white down to 90. Rotting Leviathan actually not armor sundered right now, but Opal Amulet been popped on the Vampire Admiral here. But likewise, the Miststalkers 52 melee defense are not taking too much damage in this sustained combat. Now that all the guns have been shut down, you get it. Oh, and here comes the Shaman Sorcerer. Shaman Sorcerers are not complete pushovers. 30-30 and 315 is slightly higher than your typical caster character in terms of weapon strength, if only slightly. But he actually doesn't want to get involved in this fight. He does still have Spirit Leeches, I'm sure, and extra Fireballs on station, so that will be nice to deal some damage to these single entities here. But the Miststalker is definitely carrying some really nice value right now, able to hold this center pocket in place. Armor Sundering, again, will be great for all the Javelins, everything here. If the Shaman Sorcerers do try and get involved, like it looks like the Death Sorcerer is in here now. He's going to be taking a beating, but he can also dish out some pain once he just kicked the crab. I mean, it takes a brave man to slam your foot into a giant crab's shell. I can't imagine it feels great, but I don't know. Maybe he's got steel-toed boots or something. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Definitely got a cool headdress. That much is certain. Yes. So at this point, the Rotting Leviathan is still fighting. It's going to start crumbling soon. Good snipe on Wulfric for Coast, but it just wasn't enough at the end of the day. Norska's Assault able to come in and do damage quickly enough. You can see that the Fleet Admiral is at her healing cap, so very quickly with that status, she will start to lose leadership as she takes more and more damage. And the Miststalkers, man, let's see on their value. Miststalkers ended up being a super clutch play here. They didn't even pay for themselves with the armor sundering and just the mass to support here. You know, the tiny bit of missile resistance as well. It's great for helping to fend off. And there it is. Green one takes the series 2-0. Go ahead and update that. So, GG to both. Green one here. Yeah, great value on the casters. Marauders did a good job. Man, 838 value as well for the Marauder Spearmen. A lot of that coming from the Armor Sundering and the Famir, helping to synergize. Javelins also probably did quite well. Indeed, they did. Chariots, nice pick here. I like the attempt. I mean, for Romulan Dog here, definitely went all in for a certain type of play, and it almost worked. I almost wonder, it's not the most popular pick. The Crab's definitely tankier, but in this matchup, I don't hate the Regiment of Renowned Necrofex because Norska really has to get close. Like, they don't have any option but to get close, and that thing destroys a lot of stuff in melee. You do have to be careful of javelins still, but it's something worth thinking about, I think. Anyway, great job to both. Let's go ahead and get on to the next one. So if we take a look at the bracket here, we can do this here. The green one moves on, and now we go to No Face versus Hadriz. So let's join on in here. And I'm going to go grab a drink real quick while these guys, hopefully they're all set. And I'll be right back, guys.
Ready to serve, my lord.
All right, welcome. I'm gonna do the Brazilian pronunciation of your name and go with Rogelio Alonso. Is that right? You know, hopefully Brazilian. Maybe not, but thank you so much for joining as a member. I really appreciate that. No Face, it appears, is AFK, but should be ready any second here. No, Noah Face was just here in the chat a second ago, but I think we're all good. Yeah, and you ended up getting the bloat while it was literally on top of a unit of guns, zombie guns. So that was a really nice play, believe it or not. I think 4 of them win the hearts and minds, but probably not the game. I mean, that's accurate. It's definitely accurate. Yes, yes. It's been a good day. Thank you all so much for coming out. Yeah, super busy with some certain projects. I also set aside some time this weekend to play the new Call of Duty Vanguard. I am a COD kid as well. And probably, I would say there's a lot of franchises. The Elder Scrolls is always near and dear to my heart, but in terms of multiplayer, I am definitely a COD kid. I played a lot of Battlefield 2, Battlefield 4 especially. I played the crap out of Battlefield 4 with friends, and then Battlefield 1 I also was a big fan of. I'm a huge history guy, as you could probably guess. So, hey, thank you. Thank you, Rogelio. I appreciate that. Yeah, I need to update my Discord link, but let me get this here for you while you're in chat. Spanish. Rogelio, okay. Okay. I see. Close. Rogelio. I like that. Alright, so there's the link to the Discord. I don't know if you're in there or not, but if you're not, go ahead and join. That's a great place to get started. There's some links to some other Discords as well. Generally a good place. If you remind me, I will add you under the patron role, so you have access to the patron/member chat, which is a perk that you do get as a member. And yeah, welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Of course, the Emperor. I wanted to do this. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and I needed some live stream time. I'm gonna try, and I've said this about 150 times in the past. I'm gonna try and do at least a once a week live stream going forward, just to get more live interaction time with you guys, because I definitely enjoy that and I get a lot out of it. So, let's see here. Noah Face is going to go with Chaos, Ban, Counts, and Dark Elves. Interesting. Hadris has a few options. We could see a Wild Skaven pick here. Greenskins is pretty safe. So, you guys can't see. That's right. Let me just get this arranged here. In your name. Alright. Hey, another 20. Much appreciated. Wow, so generous. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. The appreciation is appreciated. all about that. So, hey, see you later, Coops. Have fun with your dinner. Enjoy. Have a great meal. Yes, thank you. You guys are too kind. Like I said before, there's a lot of reasons for me to do this. Just enjoyment, the fulfillment is the biggest thing, for sure. So, let's, I guess I don't probably totally need a blocker, but I'll throw Dancing Warzag up just because it's fun. I just gotta remember to not, yeah. I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna queue it up so that it's ready to go and I don't forget to move him. Oh, this is a great track for Warzag to dance to as well, man. I should really remake this. I could probably do this much better now. Maybe I'll do like a full Dancing Warzag music video sometime. That'd be fun. Have him dance to Head 2 tunes. That'd be a fun meme video. Yeah, I have some fun video ideas for, yeah, just the next few months. I'm gonna, hopefully, I mean, this is speculation, right? But my guess is probably the Warhammer 3 news will slow down in December over the holiday season. One thing about Creative Assembly that's awesome, I am a big fan of Creative Assembly for this reason. Well, one of many reasons, but they, as far as I'm aware, and granted I've never worked there, but as far as I'm able to understand as an outside observer, it does seem like they take really good care of their employees. Part of that is giving them a huge Christmas holiday vacation, I guess. I think they get like 2.5 weeks off or something like that. I mean, it is substantial. Well deserved. I know some people called the developers lazy. I would never ever call Creative Assembly lazy. I think sometimes the resources aren't always used in the best way. That's with any business, that's true. Any organized endeavor, right? There's going to be waste and decisions made that ultimately end up not bearing fruit, cut content, and this and that, and man hours put into things that end up not panning out. So, I mean, I know they're working hard, and they're also treated very well. So they deserve to be treated well, right? With respect, and to have time to spend with their families or loved ones or whatnot. So, anyway, all that to say, I expect the news to slow down in December when Creative Assembly goes on holiday. So hopefully during that time, I can kind of take a breather and do a couple of the other videos, like probably do my final tier list for Total War Warhammer 2 at that time. And yeah, we'll have some fun with it. And then, of course, now we have a release date for Game 3, so of course, you know, you can extrapolate out from that. Very likely I'm going to have early access content, possibly January, at the very least, probably the first 2 weeks of February, I would say, is when I'll get full access to the game, if I had to guess. Again, no insider information, this is just speculation. But, so, really the next, like, 3-4 months are kind of laid out in front of us, right? And that, for me, is very exciting. Like, there's so much to look forward to. From a personal standpoint, from a, I guess, quote-unquote professional standpoint, if you want to call it that, from a channel standpoint, community, FFA, yes. Maybe we can do some fun, like, patron FFAs, or some more, like, team-oriented battles. Yeah, that could be a good time. We'll see. But anyway, Hadra's coming in here with the Green Tide. Let's take a look at what he's got. Gonna be some Orc Boys, Hammer of Gork, 2 Black Orcs, and the 8 Peak Loons, the Rusty Heirs. This is sort of an old school, to a degree, infantry composition. The 2 Black Orcs, 8 Peak Loons is sort of a core that I have used quite a bit myself in the past versus different factions, right? Lizardmen is one. This is definitely another one. The Lords and kind of auxiliary troops will change here and there, but in this matchup, makes a lot of sense to take a lot of missile cavalry. The Wolf and Spider Rider archers are very good here, specifically. I would probably take Goblins over Orc Boys personally as kind of an extra chaff support, sort of filler. But Orc Boys will definitely trade decently into Marauders, and they'll be alright overall here. We've also got the Goblin Great Shaman, River Troll Hag. And on the flip side, Sarthrell ready for his Zinch bros. He's definitely hyped for Game 3. We've got, again, 2 Exalted Heroes on Manticores. Marauder Horse Masters. Double Hell Cannon, wow, into Greenskins. So both of these players looking to go for an artillery fight here. I don't know how that's going to go. My guess is because the Greenskins have more skirmish cav, they're going to push forward. They've also got these Wolf Riders to try and come in and contest these Hounds, but let's see. I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of people have walked away from the game already, and I think a lot of people will come back for Game 3 who maybe have walked away, especially if / when we get more direct support from multiplayer. Like, it's they've already mentioned the domination mode. We'll have to see what comes of that, but in general, I would say you have it seems like they're going to be putting more effort into multiplayer. They also teased some news about co-op campaigns. I think it would be great to be able to do more than 2-player campaigns, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But I think more than anything, I'm hoping that Game 3 and sort of new multiplayer features especially will bring people back. Because there's a lot of great players who have came, fought, conquered, and have stepped away, you know. A lot of past champions of Everchosens and Eternal Challenger leagues have taken a break from the game for whatever reasons. You know, people come and go, and that's true of any game, whether it be esport or even like real world professional sports, right? Like, people don't stick around forever, which is fine. But I am hoping that the release of Game 3 will entice a lot of people to come back and jump into those new systems and play around a little bit. So far, this skirmish fight is going very well in favor of the Greenskins. I mean, The Hell Cannons, this is probably going to take some time, but the Hell Cannons are kind of wasting their shots shooting at the Missile Cavalry. Like, it's not completely wasted, but it's not great value, certainly. And, yeah, I mean, you can kill some models there, but gold-wise, that's never going to pay out, really. And you really need to just move up and start shooting the Black Orcs with those Hell Cannons. Like, just kind of ignore all this chaff and, go after the more important targets, because you can see the Hell Cannons don't have a ton of ammunition. They've already used quite a bit of their ammunition, so, I mean, this is okay, but the Hammer of Gork individually, you know, the Hammer of Gork by itself is cheaper than either of the Hell Cannons individually, so it shooting into the Horsemen, or Horse Masters even, I mean, they're 750 cavalry, so that actually is a pretty decent shot to take. Aerocrastic, yeah, Aerocrastic, Tlaxlan Soothsayer, you know, even Felcon doesn't play nearly as much anymore. He does play from time to time here or there, but not really in the, like, high-end competitive tournaments, right? Just, there's a lot of players. Both, you know, high-level players, mid-level players, players of all shapes and sizes and skill levels. The vast majority of them we would welcome back with open arms, so I do hope we see some peeps coming back. A nice hit on the Goblin Great Shaman there. Some more volleys coming in. A skirmish contest on these Marauder Horse Masters. The armor does help against the counter skirmish. 50 armor's not nothing. It's actually okay. Not amazing, but it's, yeah, it's there. So they're not going to take as much damage from the return horse archer fire, but they definitely just don't want to sit around and get blasted by the Hammer of Gork. Oh man, this is two factions you would not expect to get into a shootout, but that is what this has turned into, it does appear. So far though, I do think Hadris is getting the better. He's protecting his high value units, whereas I guess Noah Face is to a degree as well, but really his high-value units are like his characters and then the Hell Cannons, right? And the Hell Cannons are, I mean, if we check in here on the value, it's not even cracked 200 value here and used up more than half its ammunition. Over here, it's a little bit better, 350, but still not what you want. So, ooh, going for a little snipe on the River Troll Hag, little Spirit Leech. The Manticore is going to drop down. Also, all in with the, what is that? Final Chance Mutation, so yeah, No Face going heavy for the River Troll Hag snipe, but oh, the treacherous Hell Cannons actually hit the Manticore a couple of times in the back there, which is pretty rough. But let's see. The Hell Cannons can quit friendly firing. Maybe they'll be able to actually finish off the Troll Hag, which would be a nice little get here. I mean, granted, the Great Shaman does still have spells, so it's not like you're getting rid of all spell casting ability, but yeah, River Troll Hag left with around 50% HP. It's now going to start to heal, and that's not good for Warriors of Chaos. They do come in and break these Spider Riders, though. Getting a little chunk there. These isolated Orc Boys also look like a nice juicy target for Big Bird and the Manticore to come charge into, and they do just that. Gonna eat some damage there, eat some javelins also. They don't quite get terrified. They might still, though. We'll see. But Hadris staying tight, not wanting to overextend too far. Got his Missile Cav in a really nice position here to concentrate fire on the Horse Masters. The 50 armor does help, but against this big of a volume, they will take damage for sure. Here come the 8-peak Loons trying to move in. Protect the Rusty Airs. Rusty Airs could counterfire in here a little bit. Ooh, nice Vindictive Glare. Pops Manticore. So, the Manticores, while they did come in and do some damage, they both took significant damage as well. I mean, I think the one is literally gone, right? So, the other one is very likely to be gone. I mean, Spirit Leech, Vindictive Glare, so... Ooh, almost hit with the treacherous Hell Cannon shot. I mean, not quite, but... Ooh, nice, using the Crown of Command to make the River Troll Hag unbreakable as she's kind of wavering, trying to not get hit by the Hell Cannons. I'm surprised, though. Hell Cannon's actually quite accurate, able to continue hitting the Troll Hag, but that's not good. Manticore's offline. Oh no, the other Manticore is still here. It's just over in the corner, probably chasing something off. But you can see that balance power is tipping as the characters go down, and as the Hell Cannons are just about out of ammunition. They probably did end up paying out a little bit more value since last time we checked in. Let's take a look here. Yeah, still not even 500 value there or there, so that's not great. Yeah, I'm even turns playing Age of Empires 4 now, right? So, yeah. I'm still playing this game. I'm still having fun a little bit. I don't play. Play a couple times a week, maybe three times a week, if that. It's because I don't want to burn myself out either. Definitely want to have plenty of energy fresh for Game 3. So, anyway. Oh, nice catch though. Big Bird coming in with the Manticore. Going to get a whole bunch of these missile gab and start to terrify them away. But the Hell Cannon's done. I mean, both the Hell Cannons are done. The rest of the Warriors of Chaos Army really should advance now, as they're at risk of just sitting back and getting blasted. I mean, I guess the Hammer Gork also had ammunition as well, but this sort of hit-and-run strategy, it works to a degree, but the Greenskins have enough mobility, and the big Spider, too, is just a scary kind of counteract piece. Spider has basically infinite ammo on its Howdah to keep applying poison at a distance, so it's going to be tricky. Hounds come in, get multi-routed, multi-charged, and routed. And, yeah, I'm not sure about No Face here. It's the strategy, I'd like it on paper and practice, though. I don't know that he really has enough to get it done. Hadris did a great job of eating a lot of the damage on units that didn't end up mattering. Here, missile resistance helps, but because the actual values for the Spider Riders are so low, it doesn't actually help that much. But Noah gonna go ahead and concede there. That'll give Hadris the win. Nice. GG, I like the attempt at the double Hell Cannon. I just think numbers are a little thin here, and you don't have much in the way of power units. Hadris build, I mean, definitely took it on the chin. Black Orcs didn't have to do a lot. It was mostly just the skirmish phase that won in the battle, right? All these value archers doing a great job. The Hammer of Gork pays for itself, certainly. And their Patrol Hag also with the Goblin Great Shaman. I mean, they do enough. Don't have to do a ton, but it is enough. 585 on the Rusty Arrows, chipping in some damage as well. Fun stuff. Let's go to the next one. And some Warzag back up here. Number 3? Oh, is it number 3 on the title? I swear I updated that. Whoops. There we go. It's fixed. Yeah, Alric. I don't know. Alric might be on a break still. I don't know. I needed to talk to him and see. If he is not available for the final, then I'll probably throw in Dactor, just because Dactor was runner-up in that. I think he was runner-up in a couple of the other qualifiers as well, so probably if Alric is not available, I'll have Dactor take his spot. But, yes. Good question, Void Lulz. I thought I had fixed that in the title, but evidently not. Hey, what's up, dog? Dog with the cat face? Yeah, that's funny. Let's get it going. On a little more Med 2 music. And I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to make a real quick phone call. And I'm back. And Slatter has been busy, yes. You know, it's awesome that Anticity has done that, and he continues to do what he's doing. Like, I'm honestly, it's more than what I would be able to do. I think I don't have the technical skill to put something like that together, so I'm glad that we have guys like him around to do that, because, yeah, it's been awesome. He's a true asset to the community. At one point in time, I've done a couple of podcasts. It's something that I would love to do more of. It's just tricky to, you know, get guests and to have time and be in the right frame of mind and everything. And Anticity's a guy I'd love to have on and just kind of pick his brain about a few things. You guys, a lot of people watching this channel as well are here for the kind of informational type content. I would definitely recommend checking out Anticity's channel. That's, he's got some really good, especially like little quick, like, you know, minute to like 3-minute, just quick explanations of something that you need to know without too much fluff. So, very nice. Been enjoying his content recently. Let's have a look here. Oh yeah, definitely. It's one thing I love talking to people about is Total War. You know, like, how'd you get started? What was your first game? You know, what's your gaming history in general? And talk about maybe specifics, like Tisty talk about ladder with him, with Falcon talk about maybe some of the past tournaments that he's fought in, some historical, I guess not historical Total War stuff, but you know what I mean, like the history of Warhammer tournaments, right? Yeah. Maybe have somebody from the Fruit Rules Committee come on, talk about sort of their philosophy, what they're doing with the Fruit Rules. Yeah. There's a lot of great people in the community that we could potentially have some interesting conversations, I think. Let's take a look. Okay. Hey, what's up, Zach? Thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure, my friend. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night. I guess for you, it's probably pretty late over there. Although, daylight savings, it's kind of weird how, like, Britain and the US, like, flip, right? Like, we have daylight savings ends like a week after the summertime ends in Britain, so it's weird. Time zones are funny. Let's see what they got, though. Right time to pause the music and get in on the game. For Hadriz, he's going with the Beast pick into Lizardmen, so it's time for some Silence and Fury. Possibly a more like Thunder and Fury with Mazdamundi over there. We've got Spearman Herds up front, some Raiders, Tusk Chariots, Brave Shaman Lore of Beasts. Really, great Brave Shaman Lore of Beasts as the caster. That's an interesting choice. I guess going all in on the Manticores. I've got Centaurs with throwing axes. Korok's Manrippers, fairly unusual Regiment of Renown choice. The only halberd unit that Beastmen have access to. Very cool, Regiment of Renown. On the flip side, for the Lizardmen, we've got some Pterodons. 4 Pterodon riders. We've got Mazda the Thick. A couple of solar engines, Temple Guards. I like the pick of the solar engines. Could be tricky to protect, but also potentially very strong here. Maybe I can stick around till the end of the battle. It's Mazdamundi. You gotta see what happens, right? Might blow up a city or something. I do like Hadra's positioning here, though. With the mostly Vanguard Beastmen, he can just come immediately seize this high ground. And probably Noah Face is just going to want to kite him off of this position. I mean, he has the solar engines to fire up onto the hill, so there's really no reason for him to rush over there. Just kind of set up, you know, in a nice defensive posture here. Clean lines of sight all the way up onto the hilltop, so the solar engines will have no problem firing up there. But for now, the Pterodons are just flying around, kind of harassing. They got to be careful not to get caught up by Manticores or throwing axes, both of which will deal significant damage. But likewise, they can go with an aggressive drop rocks if they're able to get a catch. The Raiders are going to be less valuable targets. It's tricky, though, to get the Centigores. No Grog Hooves, which is unfortunate. Very cool unit. Yeah, very old school Lizardmen army, right? I mean, this is almost fully vanilla, except for the couple of RORs here, but let's take a look. One thing I want to know is, how did the ogres in the trailer actually get a hold of that skink? Like, they're in the World's Edge Mountains. Like, how did that skink bro get all the way over to the World's Edge Mountains? That's what I want to know. Science has no answers for this. Anyway. Nice Beastman ride through the sun, jungle. Very appropriate map here. Centigores are trying to block some shots with their bare arms. It's going to do something. Oof, didn't do much for that guy. But so far the solar engines haven't even taken a shot yet. I'm kind of surprised by that. I don't know what exactly their targeting is. But, yeah, it looks like they're just turning. They definitely do have some targets coming within range. But again, it's not like with the double artillery here, you can take shots into these very cheap units, but it's not going to be the most efficient use of your ammunition. Probably the best unit for the Lizardmen to shoot at here would be the throwing axes or the Tusk chariots. I mean, their infantry is tanky enough that the chariots shouldn't be a huge issue, but Manticores are also a decent hit if you can get that blinded effect on there. It does not look like that did make contact, but they're going to be a little bit tougher to hit, so you might lose some value with those missed shots. Southland skink? Maybe. That actually makes sense. Custom maps. You know, there is actually a map maker tool. And some people have made some maps for multiplayer. It's just, I need to look into exactly how that system works. It would be fun, certainly, to get like a community of people that make maps specifically for multiplayer tournaments. I think that'd be awesome, especially if we created some really good ones. You know, I would have to sit down with some of the map designers and kind of think about, like, okay, what actually makes a good map, like, objectively. Nice Manticore summon. Ooh, the net, though. Look at that Manticore summon placement. It's, like, just barely right outside the net. Mazdamundi going all in with the bunker bust with all these Centigores with throwing axes trapped in his pocket. No! What's it called? He used Shield of the Old Ones instead of letting the Banishment go off. Now, the Temple Guard, man, they just took so much damage. Even though they did a lot of damage in return to the chariots are all terror routed off pretty much at this point. The Temple Guards just took an extreme amount of damage right there. Yeah, overall, though, it's looking okay for the Lizardmen so far. Full-blown Manticore assault is not fully home yet, but the Manticores are starting to at least tie up the solar engines, which is great, and also get completely destroyed by Mazdamundi. The issue with the throwing axes is if they lose too many models, they're not going to have ammunition enough to kill Mazdamundi, and the Beastmen, to a large degree, are relying on that. But, yeah, Banishment, unfortunately, the placement not amazing there. Drop Rocks does a lot of damage, though, to the Koroks Man Rippers. That was a great value play right there. Ungo Raiders doing a good job kind of fending off the Pterodons, but the Pterodons have used up almost all of their ammunition already. But look at this double Manticore drop and a third Manticore on station for the summon for the Great Bray Shaman, staying back well out of range. Very conservative. Ooh, a little bit of a treacherous blast. Mazdamundi actually does damage to him from the Solar Engine. Mazdamundi really needs to pull out of that fight. Other Solar Engine firing downtown into the chariots. Let's keep Mazdamundi in the background. He should be able to escape from that situation. Let's see if he comes back from route, able to get some Apotheosis to sustain himself. Should be okay. But things are looking pretty good for the Beastmen right now. Definitely far ahead on the balance power. Part of that is because of the Manticore summons. But... whoops. Looks like the Solar Engines are still trying to pressure the Centaurs with throwing axes. They, though, are trying to pressure Mazdamundi off. The Spears are in a decent position to try and continue to screen here, but these Pterodons, honestly, just probably fly him down into melee to at least tie down. Yeah, Mazdamundi now back from route, able to get that Apotheosis, start to sustain himself. The problem is for the Lizardmen, most of their infantry is gone. We've still got the 2 Solar Spears, which can come in and trade pretty okay in the late game. But a nice Chariot. Chariot manages to get all the way through, path back around to get some more attacks here. The Ungor Raiders also only 60 armor on the Solar Spears, so they'll definitely take pretty significant damage from them. And I think this is probably Hadra's game here. Yeah, that's true. And, I mean, let's be honest. Does Mazdamundi really care about friendly fire? Probably not. Yeah. I mean, right now he's doing fine, though. He's helping to sustain this fight. He's getting a little bit of healing. The Centaurs with throwing axes are kind of caught up in melee. They're not able to really fire super effectively. But, oh man, dangerous situation as both the Manticores are probably going to get routed here. Mazdamundi's healing sustain might be too much. The Beastmen might have missed their chance to actually break Mazdamundi and chase him off. But the throwing axes do still have some ammunition left if they could get in there and get close enough to Mazdamundi to actually throw axes at him. Right now, the Solar Spears and the Temple Guard are doing a good job, like, blocking. Ooh, another banishment being placed. Go, 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 Centaurs. Does catch a few of them, but it's also going to roll through the Temple Guard as they kind of... No, actually they're able to mostly disengage without taking much damage at all from it, which is nice. The Raiders are getting in there as well. The Raiders are going to be super critical in this late game, but oh man, the Bray Shaman, potential disaster here as he tries to path through the Saurus. Yeah, it does look like the Bray Shaman's going to be able to get away there, just barely, but he is now in danger of getting killed by the Solar Engines. The Manticores need to come down. Korok's Manripper's also coming back from route, desperately trying to get in there and just do whatever they can to finish off Mazdamundi. Oh no, the Bray Shaman, run, buddy. And this is also very dangerous, though. If Mazdamundi overextends too much here, he's going to open himself up to the rest of the throwing axes, and they are already starting to deal some significant damage there. Man, this is super close. Super close. Noah Face just fighting for his absolute life here as the Lizardmen scrap and claw for every inch. Centaurs are going to come in and break the Pahawk Sentinels on a charge. The Manticore also getting a hold of some of these Pterodon Riders, trying to chase them off, bail out the other Manticore. Mazdamundi's Greater Arcane Conduit, though, this whole time is just going to continue to sustain him with a little trickle of healing as the Solar Engines are able to keep chewing up models off of the throwing axes, which are going to be so critical here. But let's see, the Ungor Raiders still have plenty of ammunition, so they could provide the decisive blow as well. Oh, here comes the net. This could be the end. Oh no! Oh, that's an absolute disaster. Bray Shaman gets netted, probably going to get terrified here. The net doesn't have the longest uptime in the world, but it really doesn't require much. Mazdamundi can push him around still, even while he's netted, but look, a couple of big attacks right there. Ooh, the Solar Engine lands. Oh no. Oh no, Bray Shaman. But at the same time, Mazdamundi is getting lit up by throwing axes. He is now down below 600 HP, just trying his best to sustain, and Mazdamundi actually breaks as well. The Centaurs are probably going to be able to chase him off with their speed. Likewise, the Great Bray Shaman now in danger. The Pterodons are getting hung up on the Ungor Raiders. Probably should have just pathed over and tried to chase the Bray Shaman off directly, but let's see. Yeah, very critical to get these Centaurs with throwing axes to get Mazdamundi off the field. It may not be enough. Even still, these Bastillodons do cause terror. So even getting rid of Mazdamundi at this point is still going to be tough. The Ungor Raiders are going to have to completely finish off this Saurus Spear, and then I guess just beat the Bastillodons on leadership. But Mazdamundi is officially shattered and off the field. So the Lizardmen are going to suffer a leadership penalty. If we go ahead and take a look at these Saurus here. Take a look at that leadership breakdown. Lord fled recently, -16. Now keep in mind that that effect is temporary and will fade if the battle goes long enough, whereas the general died debuff is actually permanent. So a lot of this at this point just comes down to, can the Ungol Raiders do enough to win? I don't think they can. I actually think Lizardmen might be able to just take this on terror, but let's see. The Sylvan's leadership is going to be a very key factor as we move into this late game. I almost wonder with the Ungol Raiders if he shouldn't have shot those Saurus spears, just because they have a lack of armor. They're generally going to take more damage from the Raiders. Throwing axes definitely throw at the Solar Engine, no question there. But I guess more than that, Hadris is just trying to concentrate everything. Oh, the drop rocks. The treacherous drop rocks in the late game. Oh, the Raiders too. Raiders are in trouble. They are very quickly going to get terrified. Looks like they're basically out of ammunition though anyway. So let's see. This one Solar Engine's almost down. Looks like they've almost got him routed. They've got the Pawhawks, or sorry, the Pterodon Riders routed. Star Chamber Guardians barely still holding. There's one more unit of Saurus Spears. Oh, the Star Chamber Guardians shatter. It's so close right now. Centaurs get a little rear charge. They're still fresh, keep in mind, whereas the exhaustion is weighing on the Solar Engines here, debuffing their armor and most other stats. So the Centaurs being fresh will matter. Looks like a couple of them do terror route, though. Their leadership is obviously very, very low. Everything here is going to be weak to the Bastildon's terrors. Hadra is playing a very, very dangerous game here, trying to finish off the Lizardmen, but yeah, the arrows will do very little to the Bastildons, but in this case, oh, that guy had one more axe to throw. That's great. Oh, you don't want to let that Bastildon come back, though. Yeah, you definitely want to try and keep those Centaurs in range. And what a game, though. What a game. Suddenly, the balance power turns heavily in the Lizardmen's favor as they use up the last of their ammunition. This other Solar Engine still too healthy. I don't think it's going to be enough. Let's see. Centaurs catch. Centaurs doing a little damage. The Howdah, though, this Bastildon still has infinite javelins basically on its Howdah, so this whole time, everything for the Beastmen is taking damage, and I think Noah's got it. Man, what a game. What a game. Holy cow. And we're going to be going to a game 3, it looks like. Wow. Too close. Too close. And there's army losses for the Beastmen. GG. Yeah, that Solar Engine, too much health there in the late game. But what a battle, man. What a battle. So that'll even out the score at 1-1. Noah Face getting back on this series. Yeah, I like Hadra's build. I do think the Lord choice is a little odd here. I guess he's really just going all in on the Manticore summons. But I would think, like, the Cygor summons arguably give you more or less at this point. I don't know. The extra mobility of the Manticore is nice, but the Cygor actually fights Lizardman monsters better in melee. You can just summon him in melee. Lizardman monsters generally slow enough that they're not going to be able to get away from the Cygor very easily. So, I don't know. Interesting play, though. Let's go on to the next one. Just quickly take a look at the values here. Manticores did all right. Centaurs with throwing axes definitely carried a lot of value, but they just had to do a little bit too much. The Korok's Manripper is not able to do much of anything. Saurus Spear is awesome in this matchup. They do well. Pterodon Riders have a struggle, but they're also able to do well. But the Solar Engines are a hard carry for sure. Love Solar Engines in general. Osmoni, not so much damage, but does tank quite a bit. So we got one more game, folks. I gotta go grab something real quick. I'll be right back. I am returned. Let's go. I like Lore Wild personally better. I think the lore attribute is really nice, but Beast is also very good, don't get me wrong. But Manticore Summon's just not so mana efficient as it used to be. Noah Face going Greenskins, Dark Elves, Beastmen, banning Skaven. So now Adris gets to pick his own. Ban one of the three. And then we will go to the ace match. And we still got a best of 5 to go, guys. Holy cow. Nice, fun Saturday night tournament. Hopefully you all have enjoyed. I know I'm having a good time. Hopefully that's coming through. It's a grand old time. Honestly. Let's go. Okay, what'd they get? Still waiting. Devolve is okay. Used to be better. Traderkin's awesome. Right now, it's like Traderkin. Cygor Summon's still situationally pretty useful in the right circumstances. Let's see. Yeah, it's all about like Brace Scream's okay. But really, like, Viletide and Traderkin, like, Viletide's one of the best explosion spells in the game. Traderkin's also really good area of effect direct damage. It's just good against a multitude of targets, right? So, yeah, hang on one sec, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Dark Elves versus Greenskins. Should be an interesting time. Looks like the green one I didn't realize, lives in Spain. Might need to go to bed because it is getting pretty late, so... I might have to cast the finals actually tomorrow, which I'd be fine with, honestly. I have some other stuff I gotta get to tonight. But yeah, we might actually have to get this tomorrow. Finish this tomorrow. It's the tournament, the qualifier that never ends. That's fine, though. That's totally fine with me. It gives me another chance to stream again tomorrow. Just a little short, like probably 1 to 2 hour stream for you guys. I'll do it a little earlier in the afternoon. Let's see here. Yes. Alright, see you later, Zach. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. Like I said, always a pleasure, my friend. Stop by anytime. Yes, Greenskins versus Darkest of elves. Spookiest, edgiest of elves. Actually do have a chance in this matchup. Yeah. I mean, it's not as one-sided as it might seem. Oh yeah, Warzak jamming out here. Yes. Alright, here's a topic for discussion. What is your guys' favorite, like, guilty pleasure junk food? It can be a sweet, it can be a dessert, it can be like for me, mac and cheese in all forms. Whether it's mac and cheese bites, it's just straight up mac and cheese. It's like a, you know, kind of specialized, like, baked mac and cheese. Just like noodles and cheese for me is a win. Absolute win. You know, for my heart, my soul, for my actual physical heart health, it's probably not great, but yeah, like last night playing some Call of Duty with some IRL friends, you know, just feeling like a true chungus, like, all right, I'm gonna go all in on the ogre style and just get a pizza, get some wings, get some friggin' mac and cheese bites from this pizza place nearby that's so good. Warzak does indeed got the moves. I'm also, I mean, weak for donuts. What else? Most sweets, I would say, I have a weak spot for. Let's see what they got. Hadder's coming in here with the Dark Elves, going to be led by Marathi. Yes. 3 Scourge Runner Chariots. He's got 2 Dread Knights and regular Cold One Knights, Dark Riders with shields, so all in with the cavalry force. I like that. There's quite the horde of Greenskins to face them, but let's see, you got some sad swords up front. Now, on the green side, we've got Grom the Paunch, Night Goblin Shaven, River Troll Hag. We've got 4 Goblins, Orc Boys, Night Goblins, 4 Goblin Spider Riders, Spider Rider Archers, a couple of Stone Trolls, 3 Stone Trolls, in fact. So he's got tools that he needs. The Skirmish Cap will be helpful to try and delay and slow down. He's definitely going to have to use the Stone Trolls wisely. They won't actually have that good of a melee engagement against the Dread Knights. Like, the Dread Knights should wreck them. Even the Cold One Knights probably will do pretty well. But, I mean, 42 defense on these guys. The Stone Trolls only have 36 attack. They do have 120 weapon strength, which is quite nice. But, yeah. Interesting. Very interesting situation. Alright, let's see what you guys got. Candy. Favorite candy is Reese's. Okay, a man of culture, I see. Junk food, tacos, and burritos. Yes. True American. Spoken like a true American. Ooh, spicy chicken burger. So is it like a... Is it like an actual chicken patty? Like, is it ground chicken, or is it like a crispy chicken patty? Because I love a chicken sandwich myself. There's a place here in the U.S. called Raising Cane's that has the best fried chicken in the world, in my opinion. Might be biased, but... Hungry Jack's basically Burger King, but not in America. Yeah. Hungry Jack's. That is a great name for a fast food place, by the way. This is very appropriate, having the Greenskins on the Pillar of Bone map. Like, look, it's your cousin. Yes. Anyway. Yeah, I didn't realize this, but Salt Lake City is actually, like, one of the better food places in terms of variety, like, in the western U.S. I didn't even realize, like, apparently we have really good Indian food here. Like, I knew that we had really good Indian food here. I just thought that was, you know, common everywhere. Sushi, all sorts of different stuff. Whatever you can think of, pretty much, you know, has probably a place here. I've been to an Ethiopian place. I've been to, I mean, obviously, I work for Brazilian Steakhouse. Hunka chicken, not minced. Okay. Similar to KFC. Okay. So it's like, in America, we would just call it a chicken sandwich, right? But yes, delicious. That's funny. So okay, it's literally Burger King. Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried that, you know? I'll have to check that out. I heard they're I did see a video of someone in a Burger King hand breading some chicken, which was impressive. But anyway, let's not talk too much more about that. You'll make Grom here hungry, and you won't like him when he's hungry. I mean, he's always hungry, so you probably just won't like him to begin with. But let's see what we got here. The Chariots coming forward. Man, a big old Doom Bolt to the face for the River Troll Hag, and all of the Scourge Runner Chariots are focusing there. The Stone Trolls are going to try and come forward, but they do risk overextending themselves and being counter-collapsed here by the Dread Knights. And yep, looks like that's exactly what's incoming, so let's get in close. Trolls versus Dread Knights. A tiny stick. Tiny mace versus big, giant stone mace. I mean, it is pretty hilarious that the Dark Elves call that a mace, but there you go. If we take a look at the health bars, it's honestly not going terribly for either side. Grayton is here. It's being used to buff the attack on the Stone Trolls, but it does look like this one in particular got the bad end of that engagement. Marathi needs to get in there and start debuffing. With the debuffs active, you can see that, yeah, I mean, once that Grayton is here, wears off, these guys are going to be in the pit. 16-22 for attack and defense, so they really will just be wet noodling on the Dread Knights. But even still, Dread Knights are going to pull away, throw a little Soul Stealer in there to heal up Marathi, do a little bit of extra damage to the Trolls, maybe finish off some of the weakened models on this one unit in particular. But Hadra's army is pretty light, and it's pretty small. You know, there's not a lot of unit models in general, and a lot of his stuff is pretty squishy. So already the balance of power is not looking great for him. It's just a very kind of traditional Greenskin build. The Manticore is getting very quickly enraged as Grom just punches it in the face. So, risky build, I would say, from Hadriz, and I think the Greenskins' numbers are just going to be far too much at this point. Cookies. Yes. Just had dinner and you're hungry again. I don't know. I mean, the Dark Elves aren't completely out of this, though. They've got this huge kind of blob of high mass stuff forming. They're able to start getting some breaks. The loss of the Manticores, having no terror anymore, is going to be very, very bad. The Dread Knights also, it looks like one Dread Knight unit's gone down. The other Dread Knight unit is pretty low. The Chariots are definitely having a tough time, but Marathi's got to stay cycle charging. Oh, she's going for a goon on Grom at this point. Nice Doom Bolt timing. Soul Stealer, Marathi's charge. This is a way to get back in the game here. Hadra's throwing all dice. Oh, yes. Will it be enough? He does actually break Grom, but you've got to finish Grom. You can't just break him, right? And especially because Hadris does not have the resources to try and chase him off the battlefield. Although he does have some Dark Riders getting all the way downtown against those Spider Riders. Spider Rider archers. A lot of the rest of his army is just too thin at this point. Especially with the full health, unbreakable 8-peak loons not even touched yet. That is a rough, rough situation. A little bit of a miscast there on the Goblin Great Shaman. Gets blasted, but survives. But the question is, can Marathi survive all of this? She's going to have to tank out a lot of damage. A lot of damage. What else? Greenskins, Beastmen. I need to play around with Empire a little bit more, but I think they should be better in the Cavalry beta. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. High Elves also benefited quite a bit from it. Britonia. I still think probably those three are going to be the top, but Warriors of Chaos are also not in a terrible position as well. Oh man, Grom came back though. That's dangerous. And the rest of the Dark Elf units are just kind of struggling at this point. They did get a little bit of murderous prowess though on some of their Orc boys, which is nice. Some kind of debuff Mither being used here from the River Troll Hag on Marathi as she kind of flies around trying to dodge as much as she can. And these Scourge Runners too are still going somehow. I'm quite impressed that the Dark Elves haven't lost army losses. But I do think we're going to have to potentially do the tournament, the final tomorrow. This did go a little bit longer than what I was expecting, to be honest, which is fine, but... Alright, there's a hit on Grom. There's not a lot else. Ooh, Vindictive Glare gonna finish off the Manticore. The Scourge Runner Chariots are just about out of ammunition at this point. That is probably going to finish. Nice little Soul Stealer does get the Goblin Great Shaman. And Grom is also, like, barely still alive. He moves within range of his trolls, which is a good idea. Marathi's going to have a hard time actually dropping there. But it does look like she gets in. She's going to try and get the finish before Grom can heal too much. Immediately going to get counter-surrounded by trolls. Did not get the full finish on Grom, unfortunately. Oh, and she gets caught by the Spider Riders. I think that's it for Marathi. Gets hit by a troll there. Maybe she can survive this. Scourge Runner Chariots are somehow still fighting over here. I have no idea how, but they are technically fulfilling the attacking rule. Oh, and the clutch Dark Riders coming back in, chasing Grom off. The question is Marathi doing okay? Marathi, are you okay? Are you okay, Marathi? He does appear to be. So now we've got these 3 units of trolls, which are still all regenerating. It's a lot of regenerating units for the Greenskins here. Oh man, what's this? Full health unit of Spider Riders coming to bail out Grom. I think that's probably game. I mean, these Dark Riders can't finish off Grom in the time that they have. And, yep. Everything else getting finished off. The Scourge Runners are just about to rout. Those Dark Riders are routed. Now Marathi must land and fight. And that should be all for her. She'll do okay. Ooh, another Soul Stealer. Will get her to her healing cap. Yeah, Dark Elves, I would say, are a decently well-balanced faction. I think that's a fair assessment. They're not as weak as some people might make them out to be, but they're not the strongest faction either. They're definitely lacking in some certain areas, but man, GG. That will be it. That will be it. So, well played to both. Very well played to both. Let me just check in here and see with Noah Face. Man, great comeback. That was 2 absolute nail-biter games. I mean, Hadriz was on the back foot for this one, but Noah Face, that game 2 was so clutch. Was definitely in a very rough position. Managed to claw his way back in and survive. And what a game, man. An excellent series. Round of applause for me. Well played to both. Yes, indeed. Okay, give me just a second, guys. I'm going to throw on some music, put myself on mute while I get this arranged, and I'll be right back. Okay, so looks like Noah Face is good to go for tomorrow, so we're going to call the stream for today. We'll pick this back up with the finals tomorrow. I'll post an announcement whenever we're going to go live. Maybe an hour or so beforehand, so be sure to keep your eye on the Discord. Thank you all so much for coming out. Had some very generous patronage today. The Emperor, of course. Yeah, I'm gonna screw this up. Rogelio. Yes, Rogelio, thank you so much for the membership and the 20 as well. You guys are awesome. It's been my pleasure. So, yeah, catch the final tomorrow. See who wins between Noah Face and the green one. Some fun battles in stores. Thank you all again. If you're not subscribed,